Hello and welcome to the 7th and last video of this tutorial series. In the last video, we created roles and set up security and permissions for our app. In this video, we're going to create a simple dashboard, organize our in-app navigation, and finally, we're going to make some minor updates to our app. So let's get started on our dashboard. Head over to the Pages section of the app editor, and let's go ahead and create a new page. Let's call this page Dashboard, and we'll skip the description, then go ahead and click Create. So here we are in the page editor. It has a similar layout to the form design editor. On the left we have all of our page widgets and layout components. In the middle is where we're going to design our page. And we can open up the page settings by selecting the cogwheel settings icon on the right side of the header bar. Here we can rename our page, add a description, choose to show or hide the page title or description on the top of our page, and we can set some security for the page. Let's close the settings by again clicking on the cogwheel icon or selecting the arrow here. Now let's get to editing. We're only going to add about 5 widgets to this page. In the middle here we have a single column layout component already. And let's go ahead and drag in a label widget into it. Labels allow us to put text on our page, which we can then format. Let's just use this widget for a title as an example. So I'll put Task Management, then I'll select it all and I'll make it the largest text size. I'll center align it and bold it. And I'm also going to drop it down a line so it doesn't appear directly at the top, but kind of more in the middle of the label. Notice that the widget settings have automatically opened when we brought in our widget. However, you can open any widget's settings by clicking this pencil icon here. We can add a custom widget title and description to display at the top of the widget, but I'm not going to do that. Let's just give this label a light background color. I'll go with a light orange. Great. And then let's close the settings panel. Next, let's drag in another column layout component. I'm going to go with a 4-column layout since I want the 2 widgets we're about to add to not be too long. Then let's drag in a form widget to our first column and select our projects form. This widget links directly to a new project form. And let's give it a custom title by ticking this on, and let's type new project. Let's also tick on show records total to display the number of project records we have. And then let's also tick on show icon, and I'm going to choose the plus icon. Let's also give it a color. I'll go with a green color. And finally, let's go with a small icon size. Great, looks good. Let's close out of this settings panel. Let's then drag in one more form widget, and let's choose our task form this time. Let's again edit the settings, and let's change the title to new task. Then let's tick on show records total and show icon. For this one, I'll go with this checkmark arrow icon, and I'll give it a yellowish color and choose small for the icon size, and go ahead and close the settings panel. Then let's drag in a single column layout component, and for this one, let's bring in a status widget. Okay, let's select our tasks form. And we're going to choose all the stages except for the draft stage to display, then hit create. Now, we don't need both a title and description to show, so let's choose one of them. I'm going to go with the description since it will display a little smaller and in lighter text. Then I'm going to write tasks as the description. As you can see, it's now on top of the widget here. Here, we can edit which stages display, and we can also rearrange the order of stages. I like the order they're in, so I'll leave it as it is. The number of stages per row can be set to 3. We only have 3 stages, and we want them all to display on the same row. Let's turn on Enable Link to View so that users can select one of the statuses here, and it will then open a view and automatically filter it by the records in that stage. For the link to view, let's choose our tasks grouped by projects view to redirect to. Finally, let's tick on show status icon, and we'll leave the icon size as medium. Great. Let's close out of these settings. Then let's add a 3-column layout component to our page. We're going to add 3 views to this, so let's drag in our first view widget into the first column, and let's choose our in progress view. The settings have opened automatically, but we're going to leave them as they are. So let's close the settings panel, and then let's drag in another view widget into the middle column. This one will be our completed tasks view. Okay, let's close the settings again. Finally, let's drag in one more view widget, and this one will be our overdue tasks view. Nice. So this page is done. Let's go ahead and save and then launch to take a look at it real quick. All right, this looks great. Now, let's fix up our in-app navigation. So let's get back into the app editor using the Edit App button. Then navigate to the Navigation section. So this is the navigation editor. Starting with the header bar, we can add navigation items using this button here. When forms, views, and pages are created, they are automatically added to the navigation. However, if you remove a form, page, or view from the navigation, you can use this button to re-add them. You can also add new headers, external links, and line dividers. On the right side of the header, we have the cogwheel settings icon. Here in the settings, we can change the width of the navigation, the display density, that is how close items are to each other, and we can enable searching, which is mostly useful if you have many navigation items, and you may also choose to have the nav default to open or hidden when launching the app. But we're going to leave these settings as they are. So let's close the settings and start editing our navigation. I'm going to start by renaming this first header. This section of the navigation is for projects, so let's rename this from Task Management to Projects by hovering your mouse cursor over the header and selecting the Show Details eye icon on the right side. Notice that next to this eye icon there's a little X. This is how you remove items from the navigation. Then let's type Projects in the section title box. Nice. Next, let's change the project's form navigation title from New Task Management to New Project by selecting the eye icon and changing the display name. Great. Then let's reorganize the tasks section. Since the project section order is looking pretty good, I'm going to click and drag the My Tasks view to the top of the section, right below the New Task form. Then we're going to follow that with the tasks grouped by project view. And then the order of the last 3 looks good to me. Notice how when I hover over the last item in a section, we have this little icon here. This icon lets us ungroup this navigation item from the section. Alternatively, we can drag a navigation item to the bottom of a section and use this icon to group it into that section. Lastly, let's put our dashboard at the top of the navigation above the project section header. And then let's add a line divider by selecting the Add Navigation Item button and choosing Line Divider. Then let's grab the line divider and move it right below our dashboard. Now, the last thing we need to do is set our default landing page for when somebody launches the app. We can choose any of our views or forms as the default by hovering our mouse cursor over whichever navigation item we want as default and checking this box here. I'm going to go ahead and make our dashboard the default, so I'm going to hover my mouse over the dashboard and I'm going to check this box. Great. Let's go ahead and save our progress. Now, that just about does it for this app. This app is functional and ready to use. But let's say my users have tested this app and they've come back with some feedback. The first thing they say is that it's annoying to keep having to fill out the project manager's field on the project form with their name every time they want to create a project. So let's resolve this by making the field automatically populate with the current user when creating the form. That way, if the person creating the project is the project manager, it saves them some time. And if it's not, it doesn't cost them any time. So let's navigate to the projects form and open the design editor. Then let's open the field properties for the project manager's field. And let's change the default value to current user. Great. That solves that problem. Let's go ahead and save and close. The second issue is the overdue status icon in our tasks workflow is a little bit misleading. Let's select our tasks form and open the workflow editor. Right now, as you can see, we have an X icon, but this record isn't canceled, which an X might indicate. So let's edit the stage using the 3 dots icon on the stage name in the stage list. Now there's plenty of options. One thing you can do is type in, for example, warning, and as you can see here, we get a triangle icon with an exclamation mark, which is pretty good. But I want to match the circle theme I have going on with the other stage icon, so I'm going to scroll down a bit and select this circle icon with the exclamation mark. Perfect. Let's save and close. The third issue is our project field on our task form is currently listing all projects, both active and archived. This was a simple oversight since we created our workflow after we set up our forms. Now, we don't need or want our users to create tasks for archived records, so let's open the design editor for our task form. Then, let's open the field properties for the project field, and let's navigate to the Options tab. Then, under the Lookup Filters section, let's add a filter, and we'll filter by status, equals, and we'll select our active stage. Great. Now our list will only display active project records. Let's go ahead and save and close. The last issue is regarding the views. In the My Tasks view and the Tasks Group by Project view, we have a status grouping. But we have the status column format set to icon and color, and the users find it a little unclear. So let's navigate to the Views section. Then let's select Edit on the My Tasks view. All right, let's open up the column settings for the status column. And let's scroll all the way down and change icon and color to status and color in the format section. Nice. Let's save and close. And then let's do the same to the tasks grouped by project view. Nice. Let's save that, and then let's launch into the view to see how it looks. That's perfect. Much better. And that does it for our app and this tutorial. Congratulations on making it to the end and completing this app with me. There are many features we didn't touch on in this tutorial, but hopefully you have the knowledge and tools you need to at least get started creating your very own custom applications. For any questions you may have during the app building process, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team, and also be sure to check out our support site where we have documentation on all of the available features on the platform. So I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you feel a little bit more comfortable on the platform now and maybe even had some fun along the way. And that's all. Thank you and happy app building.